as committed Dharma practitioners, how we live our lives, how we practice our Dharma life is really, really important. Yeah, it's the foundation. It's the container. It's the vision for everything we do, more and more so. And at the same time, it doesn't need to be overly serious. Important, but not overly serious. And I'd really like us to encourage us all to practice in the course of this week with a gentleness, with lightness and joy. Yeah. Please make sure that joy has a place in your practice. So before I give a bit of an introduction to the Satipatthana Sutta, I thought I'd just say a little bit about the retreat program. You've seen the times, you know what's happening when. The mornings, this morning time. Oh no, let me backtrack. I'll go to the beginning of the day. I've decided the two of us, Viridi and myself, would be meditating early morning. And I thought it'd be really good if we could begin the day reciting the refuges and precepts. That, for me, connects me with this spirit of lineage of practice in a very alive way, and brings the practice right into the middle of daily life with the precepts. So if that suits you, I'd encourage you to start your morning, your early morning practice before your sit, reciting refuges and precepts, and knowing that others will be doing that with you too. So that's the first step into this communal space of Dharma practice. During these 2-hour sessions in the morning, I'll be focusing on some areas of Satipatthana practice, and then we'll actually do some practice in the morning. So I think there'll always be a meditation. And for that meditation, you can sit, you can lie, you can stand, if sitting so long is not comfortable for you. But we will have a break in the course of the morning. Then in the afternoons, there'll be Maitri Mala will be offering, leading us through a body scan or a metta practice. And after that, there'll be a break, and then there'll be groups in the afternoon. And in the evening, we'll have an hour's devotional practice of different flavors. Okay, so that's the week. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about, I'll get warm myself up now talking about the Satipatthana practice. I experienced Satipatthana, and this is what for me was a revelation when I came across it. I'd been ordained for 10 years, and I thought I had everything I needed. And in a way I did. I wasn't lacking. But something very rich came into my life, and had a very strong effect on my practice when I discovered the Satipatthana Sutta and Satipatthana as a practice. And for me, it has become more and more a template for Dharma practice, which can be applied to all areas of life. To the whole of our experience. Nothing is excluded from this practice. And I'll probably be repeating this again and again throughout the week. It's not just about meditation. It's not just about formal sitting, formal practice. So when I'm using the word practice, I don't just mean meditation. That, if you like, meditation is, again, it's, what's the word? See, I speak German most of the time. I have to warm up to speaking English. It's kind of the meditation is like a source. It's like my hands can explain it better than my words at the moment. We rest, our mind rests in this place of stillness, of calmness, maybe some contentment, trust, as a basis for the clear seeing. So meditation is important, but our practice is not just about meditation. Satipatthana. So nothing is excluded, even the moments when you're really fed up, or you're tired, or you get a bit frantic about all the technology. That's a moment of practice. It can be if we apply ourselves, and that just makes it very exciting. There's no excuse. Oh, I can't do it under these conditions. Yeah. You can if you're creative and if you apply the teaching. So the sutta provides us as well with the tools to do this, the tools, the methods, practicing in the way that leads to freedom. This is what the Buddha tells us in the Satipatthana Sutta, a direct path to freedom. So my intention this week is to familiarize you with Satipatthana practice as a whole, to hopefully communicate a taste of how it offers this path to freedom, and thirdly, an experience of aliveness, flowing with change, with reality, with whatever is there. This flow of change that arises constantly, rising and passing away. And we are accompanying that. We're engaging with reality, maintaining a steady, kindly awareness of changing phenomena. That's the pith. Yeah. Maintaining a steady, kindly awareness of changing phenomena. That's the essence of Satipatthana praxis, I'd say. And this is where the Buddha's teaching on mindfulness is in service of liberation. So it's not just about mindfulness. Mindfulness, let's say, mindfulness is at the heart, but it's about much more than that. And we need more than mindfulness to become free. So it's mindfulness in the service of liberation. And the sutta itself is this kind of template, shows us, these are the tools. First of all, how are we mindful? We're looking at that today. What are we mindful of? Yeah. And this is where this all-encompassing practice comes into the being. The Buddha shows us how to be mindful the whole of the time, the areas of our lives. And then, thirdly, we get instructions. How can mindfulness be in the service of liberation? How can it be? How can it become an insight practice? And there are precise instructions there given in the Refrain, which we'll be looking at in the next couple of days. And on this retreat, which is, it is what it is, it's 7 days, half of the time I think we'd originally hoped to have. Most likely I'll be focusing on body. I think it's really, really important to be grounded in our body, to develop a sense of embodied awareness, so whole body awareness. And then we'll spend some time with that, and then we'll spend some time with heart mind, with chitta, with the third Satipatthana. And woven through these practices will be the Dharmic perspective, which we need. It's like putting on these different glasses. We'll be putting on these Dharma glasses in the course of the week to see things differently. Oh, it's not like I thought it was. Or I could relate to that differently. That is what the Refrain teaches us to do with these instructions. So I should say that for the purpose of Satipatana practice, I use awareness and mindfulness synonymously. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a little look at the structure of the Satipatthana Sutta. I'll be sharing it on my screen with you in a moment. The structure, it's like, what is it, a drama? Is that what you say? Or a dramatic something or other. You've got a whole, it's laid out. So there's this opening statement that tells us what it's all about. And so the Buddha, he really takes us by the hand. So Satipatthana is a bit like, you're gaining a new friend here. So the Buddha takes us by the hand and he says, why should you engage with this practice? And I think he's fanning our inspiration there, so that we say, yeah, I want to follow this path. And he tells us that it is a direct path to overcome suffering, a direct path to overcome suffering and attain liberation. And then he really gets into the nitty-gritty. So he tells us, how are we mindful? How are we mindful? 4 necessary mental qualities. Mindfulness and friends. And then he goes into, in great detail, the Satipattanas. These are the fields of experience, the areas of experience that we're mindful of. 4 fields of awareness, you could say. And then there's this verse that's called the Refrain. And it's a refrain because it's repeated again and again and again. So the Buddha gives you an instruction, be aware of the body with this particular focus, and then comes the refrain. Be aware of the body with this focus, then comes the refrain. And it goes on and on. Be aware of the mind, then comes the refrain. Yeah. Be aware of Vedana, of feelings, hedonic tone of experience, then comes the refrain again. And this refrain is like the heartbeat. Yeah, do it like this, look like this, take this perspective. And you can kind of imbibe this heartbeat. You can let it seep into your being. And I think this is the transformative, at the moment, what I'm most excited about. It changes, yeah, but this is the moment, the refrain. It's like, this is the heartbeat of insight. So these 4 ways of looking, 4 modes of contemplation, they're sometimes called, relating to what's going on through a Dharmic perspective. So I'll be talking about that, the refrain, in more detail, maybe tomorrow, probably tomorrow. And then at the end of the sutta, so he gives us all this instruction, very detailed, very precise, and at the end comes a prediction, which I'll probably read to you later on. And the prediction, it just is encouraging. It's confidence. It's pure confidence in the practice. And the Buddha says, yeah, do it this way. Do it for so long. Well, if you can't manage so long, do it for less. Do it for less. And he doesn't let you off the hook. He's just so encouraging. I'm just like Bhante. On our shrine here, got this picture of Bhante. When we greeted our shrine, I thought, I want him right next to my shoulder. But I've got the Buddha here. That's fine too. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you now and show you an overview of the structure of the whole sutta. Yeah, there we go. You'll be these handouts will be posted on the Padlet later on. So it's just so that I can just give you a visual image of what I've just said. Satipatana, by the way, means, one translation is standing close by with mindfulness. Sati, in Pali, smriti in Sanskrit, is mindfulness. And I will talk a little bit more at some point about the qualities of mindfulness, the texture of mindfulness. And patana comes from upatana, which means to stand close by. I really like this translation, standing close by with mindfulness. And you're kind of rubbing shoulders with your experience, with mindfulness. It's how you're relating to the experience. You're getting up, right up close, shoulder to shoulder, but you're not interfering there. You're not grasping, you're not pushing away. We want to step out of this push, pull, got to be this way, got to be that way, I like it, I don't like it. We want to step out of that and stand by with mindfulness. Okay, so the opening statement then, as you can see on your screen, is the direct path. This kind of frames the whole sutta. It's at the beginning and then it comes at the end again. This statement here, which you'll get a copy of the sutta that will be posted on the Padlet, so you can just read these parts for yourself at your leisure. And then the definition, which I'm going to focus on today: how are we mindful? And then what are we mindful of? The 4 fields of awareness. We're mindful of body. We're mindful of Vedana, the hedonic tone of experience. We're mindful of Chitta, heart, mind, and we're mindful of, sometimes they're called mental objects. I don't know, that doesn't speak to me at all. It's more like, it's the Dharmic perspective, for me, the 4 Satipatthana. Relating to what's happening through a Dharmic perspective. Okay, and then comes the refrain, the instructions, the 4 modes of contemplation, ways of looking at experience, or ways of relating to what's going on through a Dharmic perspective. And at the end comes the prediction. So I'll show you now another overview, which is taken from Analayo's first book on Satipatthana, A Direct Path. And he gives a classic overview as a diagram, which I find very, very interesting and helpful. So let me see if that will come. There it is. Yeah. So this is from Analayo's book. And as you can see here, on the right, so body, there are a whole series of body contemplations. Well, let's go back down to the bottom. The direct path, okay, this is what it's all about. This is why you're doing it. Definition, how are we mindful? And then come the fields, what are we mindful of? So with regard to body, we're mindful of breathing. We're mindful of postures. We're mindful of activities, bodily activities, anatomical parts, elements, and a corpse in decay. We won't be doing all of these. And some of these you can take into your daily life. So breathing is always with us. We don't have to take breathing anywhere. It takes us into life. Breathing does. Yeah? To breathe is to live. And will be, that will be a focus in the meditation. Posture, sitting, standing, walking, lying. In all these four postures are equally important. We have to learn how to meditate lying down, that we don't just fall asleep. We have to practice how to meditate standing. It's possible to stand for 30 minutes and meditate. And walking meditation, many different ways of doing walking meditation. I'll be talking about that. And that we can take off the cushion, for example, when we go for a walk. Activities are your daily activities. The moment we move the body, and the process, standing up, sitting down, moving your hand, opening your fingers, that's very detailed, drinking, eating, talking, all kinds of activities that we're engaging with, which make up our life as human beings, we can apply mindfulness to them. We don't have to change what we do. We change how we relate to what we do and how we see what we do. So that the breathing, postures, activities, really lend themselves to practice in off the cushion in daily life. And I hope you'll be exploring those during the offline times of the retreat. And I aim to have a little taster of anatomical parts and elements on this retreat as a practice. The death contemplation, if we had more time, I'd also like to introduce you to a way of doing that. Corpse in decay is really the death contemplation, but that's for the future. Okay, and then the second Satipatthana, feelings, Vedana, that will be sort of woven in, accompanying us. Mind, we'll be practicing with mind, heart, mind, so awareness of what's going on in my mind. Attitudes, thinking, hopefully we're going to spend some time with how can we in a creative way relate to thinking in a way that we become free with thinking. We can't shut thinking out, is what the mind does. It's its job, if you like. But we can find a way to be with thinking that is liberating. And the Dhammas, I'm not going to go into, there isn't the space or time to go into those. But we will, the Dhammas, the fourth Satipatthana, as I've already said, will be there kind of along parallel to our practice. That's the Dharmic perspective. And as you can see on this diagram, at the side, there's always this refrain: do it like this, do it like this, look like this. Then comes a prediction at the end, and then the direct path again. So you just don't forget. That's the thing with mindfulness. To be mindful, I'm sure you all know, it's not a big deal. It's not difficult, but we forget to be mindful. We just get back into our groove, our habitual ways of doing things, and we lose the plot. Okay, let me close that. Good. All right. Now I think one of my pieces of papers is missing, but I'll probably be able to manage without it. Yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit about the definition. So this is how are we mindful? And after that, we'll have a break, and then we'll do some practice. Okay. And I do need, oh no, here it is, here it is. Got it, good. I'll read you the definition. This is, as we've just seen, it's at the beginning, so setting the scene. And I should say, whenever the Buddha talks about monks here, he means practitioners, he means us, that's us. Yeah. So I'm not going to change everything into, I'm not going to change the gender here. It's all inclusive, whatever your gender is, however you see yourself. It's inclusive. Yeah, feel you are being addressed. Here, monks, in regard to the body, a monk abides contemplating the body, diligent, clearly knowing and mindful, free from desires and discontent in regard to the world. In regard to feelings, he abides contemplating feelings, diligent, clearly knowing and mindful, free from desires and discontent in regard to the world. In regard to the mind, he abides contemplating the mind, diligent, clearly knowing and mindful, free from desires and discontent in regard to the world. In regard to Dhammas, he abides contemplating Dhammas, diligent, clearly knowing and mindful, free from desires and discontent in regard to the world. So whatever we are mindful of it in these four ways. And the four friends, as actually, I think this is Vajradevi, I heard it for the first time. She talked about sati, mindfulness and friends. So the first one here is translated as diligent. This is atapi. You'll get this on your handout. Yeah. Atapi. And atapi is what keeps us going. This translation is diligent. But on my school reports, it always said, Annette is very diligent. So I don't have it particularly, well, it was encouraging, but somehow I didn't feel seen as a complete being. So I'm going to offer some other translations for atapi that speak to me. And there might be one there, hopefully, that speaks to you. One translation is, it's a spiritual ardency, ardency, and Chinese Chan master translated it as the long enduring mind. Yeah. For this path, we need to have a mind that is, there's a steadiness, there's a robustness, there's a groundedness, there's a healthiness, there's the ability to stay with it. Yeah, this long enduring mind. You can take it and you can keep going. Yeah. So it's atapi is what sustains and nourishes us through all the ups and downs of practice, which are there. There are tough times and there are challenges and there are times we're not inspired and we lose the connection. You keep going regardless. And another lovely translation is the wellspring of a courageous heart. So atapi is the wellspring of a courageous heart. Yeah. So it's what keeps us going. It's this kind of inner strength. There's the faith, there's the confidence, there's the trust that comes out of not letting the fire go out. This is atapi, association with fire. What keeps us going? Don't let the fire go out. Maintain balanced effort. And this quality can manifest by being interested in our own experience, in life, in our experience, in others, in what's going on around us. It's this alive connection to life. And that's where energy comes from, which we need for practice. So that's atapi, the first friend. Sati itself, yeah, I'll be talking about separately more. I'd just like to stress at the moment an open, receptive quality of mindfulness, that is present, is there. Sometimes I just talk about being present, or I don't talk about it, I talk to myself, or I sort of go inside and try to sense, am I present for this moment? Being present for the moment, this is sati, and it doesn't interfere, doesn't try to change, or I'll twig it this way, then it'll be okay, I'll twig it that way. You just are with what is. And sati is like, it's a ground you can stand on. I can be with this moment. Let me be present for this moment of experience. This is the strength of sati. And it's soft, it's receptive, and it's alert. So we're not so soft and receptive that we're melting into the ground. On one Satipatana retreat, I think I was focusing very much on relaxing and soft receptivity. And a Dharmachari came to me later and said, oh, that's lovely. I'd love to be able to do that. But where's the energy? It wasn't his thing. So we do need, I think it's important that it has this tender presence, and at the same time alert, awake. You are there. Yeah. That's sati. Sampajana or sampajanya, which coming from Pali or Sanskrit, this is the knowing aspect. And it's described as the seed of wisdom. So mindfulness, they go together. They're a pair. They really love hanging out together. Sati sampajanya, and in a way they need each other's company to pursue the path. I'd say, in sampajanya, this knowing, there are the seeds of wisdom. It's not enough just to be receptive and present and, oh, this is wonderful and I'm really in the here and now. There's value in that. But that alone is not going to free us from suffering. So this knowing quality of sampajanya, knowing what we're doing, so we're present to it and we know that we're doing it. We know why we're doing it. There's a context. There's a relation to past and future. So it's set in a context. We are present, but we're not cut off from the context. We're not cut off from an awareness of consequences of our actions, or maybe a deeper understanding of where we're coming from. Yeah, so that's quite challenging. I'm going to be talking about this too a little bit more. Sampajanya, right, for the moment. It's also a basis for wise discernment, for making wise choices, differentiating between skillful and unskillful. I need to know what's going on in order to make a choice. So that's the difference. That's the necessary quality to bring to the presence of sati. And it opens the door to wise discernment. And then the fourth quality, how we are mindful, is this Vinaya Abhija Domanassa. And that means free from desires and discontent in regard to the world. The world, by the way, here in the sutta, it means the world of experience. It's not sort of the world out there that is in the news a lot. Yeah, it's the world of experience, how we are receiving and relating to the news, to the world. So it's the world of experience. That's our basis for practice. That's what we can change. We can't change the world directly, but by transforming ourselves, we will have a very valuable influence on the world. We can have. So this fourth quality is talking about calmness, ease of being, an inner contentment with whatever's happening. So free from desires and discontent in regard to the world. Free of hindrances, you could say. Freer or more at ease with the push-pull of liking, not liking, preferences. I want this, I want that, should be like this, should be like that. I should be like this, I should be like that. So there's this calming. We're not being pulled and pushed so much. And how we can take this into practice is by doing what's called a kind of a check in experience. So you could check, am I present? This is sati. Am I present? Or have I gone for a walk? I'm sitting on my cushion, but I'm not even here. I'm planning what's happening next, or I'm discussing what went on before. Am I present? Secondly, is there interest? This is atapi. Am I interested? Am I engaging? Not overly engaging, but am I interested in my breath? Am I interested in this present moment experience? Thirdly, do I know what's going on? This is sampajanya. Know what's happening. We need to know what's happening. Otherwise, we've got no ground to stand on to make wise decisions. And fourthly, ask yourself, is there a sense of ease? Or am I tensing? Is there too much efforting? Am I over efforting? Am I wanting to make something happen? And these four is really, it's fun to play with them. It's fun when you're meditating to get a sense of these four. Is that present? Is that present? What could I turn towards more? Turning towards being more at ease, turning towards more interest. Okay, so we'll practice that a little bit in the meditation. And now, and this I don't have, so I'm going to ask Viryadi to just pop next door into my office, and on that round table there's the sutta, print out of the sutta, and then I'll conclude this morning's input by reading to you the prediction. Thank you very much. Okay. So we're on this journey and we're practicing being with experience in this particular way, looking with our Dharmic perspective. And then at the end, the Buddha says, monks, if anyone should develop these 4 Satipathanas in such a way for 7 years, one of 2 fruits could be expected for him. Either final knowledge here and now, or if there's a trace of clinging left, non-returning. Let alone 7 years, 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 7 months, 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, half a month. If anyone should develop these 4 Satipatthanas in such a way for 7 days, one of 2 fruits could be expected for her. Either final knowledge here and now, or if there is a trace of clinging left, non-returning. So it was with reference to this that it was said, this is the path for the purification of beings, for the surmounting of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of dukkha and discontent, for acquiring the true method, for the realization of nibbana, namely the 4 Satipatthanas. This is what the Blessed One said. The monks were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. Okay, so it's 12:10. I suggest we have 15 minutes break now. And I'd really encourage you to really pause now, not to busy yourselves. Maybe your body needs some respite, you need to lie down or get some fresh air, but just being with yourself in a way that is kind, that is gentle, and that's going to resource you for the meditation that will follow. Okay, so I'll see you in 15 minutes' time. To set yourself up for meditation, whether sitting or lying, probably most suitable right now. And we'll be sitting, practicing the meditation for about a good half hour. Settling into your chosen posture. Giving the body time to settle. Maybe taking a couple of deeper breaths. Letting go on the out-breath. And inviting a sense of presence very softly on the in-breath. And it can help us to settle by taking our awareness into the lower half of the body and feeling the contact to the earth between your feet, soles of your feet, or your legs, your knees, your buttocks. Really allowing those parts of the body to connect. Sometimes there can be a subtle holding, not quite allowing the body to make that connection, to be carried by the earth. Relaxing muscles in the pelvis, the buttocks, the belly. And resting with your awareness in the navel area now. Becoming present to what that area of your body feels like. The front of the navel, surface, we could say. The back of the pelvis, the sides, and the space behind your navel. Allowing some time for that area also to settle, perhaps to become a little softer, a little more relaxed. Giving the weight of the body up to gravity. Arriving, settling, connecting. Out of this sense of groundedness, letting a quality of lightness and lift flow out of the pelvis, through the whole of the trunk, up into your head and beyond your head. Maybe imagining a thread connecting you to the vast blue open sky. We can feel held from above. No need to stretch or to tense or to hold on to anything. If the crown of the head is very lightly lifted, it's natural then for the heart area to open. For a sense of inner space to present itself. And then from the top of the head, the crown of the head, you can relax the face, the scalp, let the eyes become soft, loosening the jaw, relaxing the mouth, the lips, the tongue. Perhaps even swallowing and letting go. And then releasing the shoulders, the arms, the hands. And now getting a sense of whole body awareness as we sit here, supported by the earth, held from above. You might want to check, is there any holding? Holding onto something, an idea, how it should be, what you should be experiencing. Holding physically, holding something together, the body. Holding something in, something out. And as far as possible, even if it's just a tiny, tiny step, letting go of that holding, relaxing more into just being present in the body now as it is, with your mind as it is. Can it be enough to be present, to be aware? And when you feel ready, turning your attention to the process of breathing. Just standing by closely, mindful of the breath coming and going, just as it is right now. Might be shallow, might be deeper, might be slow, might be a bit rapid. It's all perfectly okay. Stand by kindly, closely with mindfulness. Experiencing the sensations of breathing in the body. Being with breathing. And if the breath is not suitable for you, then let your awareness rest on a part of the body where you feel comfortable. Maybe the connection, the touch to the earth, your feet, your legs, or your buttocks, or your hands. Not forcing the mind to do anything right now. Being present, knowing what's going on with some degree of interest, at ease. In the sutta, these areas of experience are divided up for the purposes of practice. But of course, our experience, we can't divide our experience into separate categories. That's just not how the world of experience is. They're intertwined. They have an influence on one another. But it is possible we can choose to focus on a particular area more than on others. And the other areas are sort of, they drift off to the periphery. So for today, you could choose to focus more on this sense of embodied awareness, aware of your whole body. Doesn't need to be too specific, too detailed, just mindful that you're sitting, that you're standing, that you're chopping vegetables, that you're reading a book, sensing into the quality of your body posture and being aware of what you're doing, your activities. Even aware, of course, because the mind is always there, aware of what's going on in your mind. Just a kind of a little turn towards it. Oh, I'm impatient. Oh, there's some kind of annoyance there. Or I feel really content or happy. And you might like to then bring these four qualities, just do a little, ask yourself now and again throughout the day, am I present? Is there interest in this present moment? Could I be interested in it a little bit more? Do I know what's going on? For example, I experience impatience. Oh, impatience, that's interesting. Do I know I'm impatient? And then I could, the fourth one, this at ease. Is there struggle with what's going on? That's really where that can be of such support. Do we need to struggle with reality as it's presenting itself in this moment? So please take the whole of the practice, as far as you can, as far as we've got today, into the whole of your being, the whole of your life. When you go outside for a walk, just this sense of awareness, interest in life around you as well. Okay, I'm going to, before I finish with the poem again, I'll read the same poem again from Genta. I just like to say I've enjoyed this time with you. I hope it's been of some value, and I look forward to seeing some of you this afternoon in the group, and for us all, I look forward to us all being together again tomorrow morning. So, Genta, conqueror. I was forever getting lost until one day the Buddha told me, to walk this path you will need 7 friends: mindfulness, curiosity, courage, joy, calm, stillness, and perspective. For many years, these friends and I have traveled together, sometimes wandering in circles, sometimes taking the long way around. There were days when I thought I couldn't go on. There were days when I thought I was finally beaten. It's scary to give all of yourself to just one thing. What if you don't make it? Oh, my heart, you don't have to go it alone. Train yourself to train just a little more gently. Have a good day.